Hello, welcome back everyone to another video on Fresh Cut Slim, and today, I'm going to be doing a little movie review. So, I went to the movies recently, and I saw the new horror movie. It's actually been out for a few weeks, so I'm actually really behind on this, but whatever. I saw the movie NOSFERATU, which is it's kind of, I guess, a horror movie, and this is going to be my review of it. So, the movie itself, the scenes were amazing. Every single scene was shot really well. The color grading and the atmosphere that these scenes brought out, fantastic. Fan-friggin-tastic. That's easily, I think, the best part about the movie. Which is sad because, like, the acting's good. The actual villain in it, I'm gonna try not to spoil this, so I'm gonna be careful what I say. The villain in this movie, his reveal, shall we say, like when you were introduced to him, that is amazing too. Okay, so like maybe, I don't know if that's halfway through or whatever, but the main character is introduced to the villain. Now when you're introduced to the villain, it slowly reveals who the villain is. So the main character isn't fully aware, just looks like a normal person, but as he is talking to this villain, it becomes aware of what this creature is. And that is an amazing scene. The atmosphere, the ambience, the music, the sound effects. Oh my word, that was great. That was fantastic. But I'd say that's actually the best part of the whole film. That was the best part of the whole film. The feeling that I got from that was amazing. But then after that, I mean, they just can't recreate that specific feeling again. And maybe later on there's times where it's kind of like that, but nothing to that extent of when we first meet the villain. And there's a fire in the background, and he's got this booming voice, you know, and I don't know, that's so sick. But yeah, so in terms of the actual story, I would say that it's decent. It's a decent story. There are no real big plot twists in it, or things that you could say like, well, why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? I would say at one point, he comes across a village on his way to meet the villain. And when he comes across this village, he mentions the villain's name, and the village people start freaking out over it. And then at night, he catches the village people doing some crazy crap. And if I were him in that situation, I'd be like, I don't know what's going on here, but I gotta get out of here. And I'd probably just go back to where I came from. But he does not decide to do that. So that's the one thing I think he messed up on. But everything else after that, I think he followed pretty much, you know, logical steps most people would follow. And yeah, so the writing was pretty good. There's a lot of sex scenes in this. I was not really expecting that. I think it's rated like 14 plus or something, which I didn't really think they'd be showing that in 14 plus. I mean, it's not like they're really showing anything, but I hate sex scenes in movies. It's just so awkward. Like, you remember when you're younger and you're with your parents, and then you have something like that come on, and it's just so awkward? It's kind of like that. There are a few moments. Now, obviously, I wasn't with my parents. I was with a friend, so it wasn't really as awkward, but there was still some scenes just like, why the frick are you showing this? Nonetheless, the writing was really well done, too. And was it actually scary, though? Because I think this is a horror movie. And I would say no. It had some slight jump scares in it, but you could kind of see them coming. At least I could, because I guess I'm accustomed to it. I've watched a lot of horror movies. Yeah, it wasn't really that scary. I'd say the introduction to the horror character, the villain, was the scariest part, or the craziest part that I really enjoyed. But nonetheless, you know, it was a decent movie. Like, it was actually really good. And I couldn't help but make some jokes in it. You know, when I'm with my friends, I always tend to make jokes. Like, when I'm doing reactions, I'll make jokes. I do the same when I'm with my friends. There was one part where, I'm trying not to give spoilers here. There's one part where this crazy guy bites the head off a friggin' like, dove. But it's like, and there's like blood shooting out, and it's freaking graphic. And I lean over to my friend and say, that's what they do at the back of Popeyes before they make your chicken. Oh, order up. Another part was, there was like there's actually the same crazy guy. I think he was naked on the floor doing like witchcraft or something, and he was like, he's on the floor going, ah! Absolutely nuts. My friend leans over and says that's him trying to predict the GameStop price. I'd say it'd be more accurate if that's how they predict tomorrow's weather. And at the very end of the movie, how do I say this without spoiling it? The villain's there. He's fully revealed, so you can see everything. And it's like the end of the movie, right? So it's emotional. And you can see his legs And I look, and his legs look really skinny. I just couldn't help but say, looks like he's been skipping leg day. I think I would rate this movie out of a 10. Like, it's fantastic. It's really good. I'd have to rate it probably upwards of an 8. Because I really, like, the scenes. Some of the scenes were so unbelievably, like, just amazing to look at. Like, the way that they were shot was incredible. I just wish that it had a little bit more of that feeling when we were first introduced to the villain. Because that feeling that you got was, that should have been carried through the whole thing. If that was carried through the whole thing, I think they tried to do it somewhat like that, but it wasn't. And they didn't, I don't think they nailed that. But if it was, I would rate it like a 9. But it wasn't carried through the whole thing, so it kind of lost a bit of its horror, I would say. But, nonetheless, that's my review. See you next time.